There's not a lot to say about Dogecoin. It's been a laggard, like you mentioned, the lack of relative performance in altcoins. This is definitely one of them, in my opinion. We had that short burst on the 21st of 11% that really was not matched by anything afterwards. You had four little very minor dojis there, and price traction really was minimal after that, until yesterday we did test a 50-day when we were instantly rejected. So that tells you that that's going to be a superior level of resistance moving forward. I think really, unless Dogecoin comes down below the neckline of this bigger head and shoulders pattern, which closely corresponds to May's descending trend line, the bias is higher, but with reluctance, I would say, with the 50-day being your main point of contention on the upside, and then moving up until the high here, which is the June 25th high of spot 9291. If we're not able to hold the conjunction of the May's descending trend line and the neckline, then we're exposed. Dogecoin is exposed to a decline down to spot 135, which corresponds with the April 23rd low. That would be the maximum downside. At this point, I would have to see how Dogecoin actually fell to that level to be able to give a prognosis if it will go down even deeper, which would go down into the high from the end of January. So at this point, I suspect that we'll see similar price action that we've seen here. A lot of reluctance, upside and downside relatively limited. Until we really get above this level, spot 29, I don't see a lot of big things happening for Dogecoin. That's all.
Yeah, for me, right, like Dogecoin looks a lot similar to what XRP is doing. Let me just quickly. Right, so Ethereum did a clear W pattern, something like this, right? But for Doge, it's this, and then a slow strut down, and then we're trying to move back above, right? For XRP, right? So again, you see a similar thing for Doge as well, which is like down and then a slow strut down. But unlike XRP, Doge is still below this critical resistance level, like bounce, 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 and then go below. Kind of went very close to testing it, but Doge did not, and now it's stuck below this level, right? But for XRP, if you look at it, this was the kind of the crucial level. Tap, 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 and then close below it, and then XRP is kind of resurface above it. But for Doge, that doesn't seem to be the case, right? And to add salt to the injury, this particular demand supply zone here will be really important moving forward. So any upswing that we see here, so what I'm expecting for Doge is like it bounces off of these two levels, which is 0.187 and 0.182. And hoping that it won't go below it. So the first optimistic scenario is like we come down here, sweep the lows here, and then we go higher into this particular demand zone, supply zone, and then we see another pullback or another slow strut, or like an instant drop here. So not quite sure, but what's sure is that in this optimistic scenario, I'm expecting at least a 37%, 40% upswing. And in a not so optimistic scenario, I could see Dogecoin coming below here, the range low, dipping below it and then move higher. This would be roughly a 58% upswing. Although it might not seem like a lot, it is a good scalp trade that I would be willing to take, but again, I would have to wait for confirmation over here. So yeah, that's it for Doge. Nothing fancy. Just watch out for this particular supply zone, which ranges from 0.25 to 0.29. That should be the take profit levels.